Om Vakradunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakatyeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्ख्यपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः ओम Namaste once again everyone.
Namaste Guruji.
Namaste.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. So we are seeing the 16th. Namaste. Namaste. 16th sloka. We will chant the sloka. Vaktumarhasya seshena.
Vaktumarhasya seshena.
दिव्याह्यात्मविभूतयः
दिव्याह्यात्मविभूतयः
याभिर्विभूतिर्भिर्लोकान्
याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोकान्
इमां त्वं व्याप्य तिष्ठसि Very good. So, after praising Krishna from the verses 12 to 15 as a prelude to asking for a favor, Arjuna in this 16th sloka comes to the point. As I said, Namakam part is over and now Arjuna comes to the Chamakam part. And he asks Krishna to completely narrate his divine glories, by which glories he remains pervading the world. And what Arjuna means here is that he is aware of so many wonderful glories of the Lord, which he has experienced or experiences in his day-to-day life. Even when he observes his own body functioning, he cannot but appreciate how intelligently Bhagavan has put this entire system together, which is so intricate, so balanced, that it is almost impossible to replicate. There are so many such glories which we can observe and experience day in and day out. But all these glories are called Laukika Vibhuti. No doubt they are all great. Still, since it is there so commonly, we do not recognize them. We take all these things for granted. Only when one organ fails to function, we realize its importance. In fact, if you visit an organ transplantation center, you will find the value of each organ. It runs into lakhs. And not only that, many of them are not available easily for replacement also. For example, if you want to, lung replacement, heart replacement, kidney replacement, skin grafting, so many examples you can give. This is the value of each part of our body, and we don't realize it at all. We can go on listing these things. And the point is that Bhagavan has given all these things free of cost to us. But we take them for granted because from birth it is there for everybody. So we don't see it as a glory at all. But if you sit back and think about it, so many things, when small things, we will find all the glory of Bhagavan in that. Take the case of even the eyelids, that closing and that winking. If that had not been there, just imagine what would have happened to the eyes. With so many dust particles and things like that, mosquitoes and all flying. So we have to observe, every small things, which are all glories of Bhagavan. But here Arjuna says, Krishna, I see all these I can myself make out. I don't want you to enumerate them. Because being Laukika Vibhutis, I can myself figure out all these things. What I want you to enumerate, Aseshena, completely, entirely, without leaving anything out, is your Divyaha Atma Vibhutayaha. Divyaha means what? Divine, Alaukika Vibhutayaha. Your extraordinary glories, the glories, noticeable ones. You have to tell all of them and enlist or list out all of them. Yabihi vibhuti bihi, with which glories, with which extraordinary glories, tvam iman lokan vyapya tishtasi, you are pervading the whole creation. And so, it is not that these glories are found in some one corner of the universe. They are found everywhere. So Arjuna says, when I take anything in the universe, you are present in one glory or the other. Yabihi vibhuti bihi, with such extraordinary glories, you pervade the whole creation and you remain. And such a list of glories I want from you. So this is the favor that Arjuna wants. Now, Krishna may ask, what is the purpose? Why do you want to know all these things, Arjuna? So, anticipating such a question from Arjuna, he gives the purpose in the next verse. We will read the verse. Katham vidyamaham yogi.
Katam vidya
Vidyamana yogini.
योगिः
Katham vidyamaham yogi.
कथं विद्या अहं योगिः
Yogihi.
Tvam sada parichintayan.
Tvam
सदा
sada
परिचिन्तयम्
Yam.
Keshu keshu cha bhaveshu.
Keshu
Keshu
केषु
keshu
केषु च
cha
Bhaveshu
भावेषु
bhavedu.
Chintyosi Bhagavanmaya.
Chintyosi
Chintyosi Bhagavanmaya.
Anvamayam.
Good. So the Anvaya is Hey Yogin Sada Parichintayan Tvam Katam Aham Vidyam Keshu Keshu Cha Bhaveshu Asi Chintya Maya He Bhagavan. So two Sambodhanas are there, Hey Yogin and Hey Bhagavan. Very, very significant. So first he says, Hey Yogin, O Lord of all powers, Sada Parichintayan, for constantly thinking, Tvam, of you, Katham Aham Vidyam, how can I know? Means how can I know your true nature? Keshu Keshu Cha Bhaveshu, in what all objects, Asi Chintya are you to be meditated upon? Maya, by me, Hey Bhagavan, O Lord. So he says, O Lord of all powers, for constantly thinking of you, how can I know your true nature? In what all objects are you to be meditated upon by me, O Lord? So here Arjuna is clarifying. He says, the purpose of this favor that I am asking you is, if you give me a complete list, I will be able to take any one of those glories, that listed glories, and use it for dhyanam or meditation upon you. Because among the listed glories, any one glory will be appealing to me. Some people love flowers, some people love sunrise, some people love the ocean. Different things appeal to different people. So I can take any one of them and use it as an alambanam, symbol for Ishvara Dhyanam. And thus, every glorious object becomes an alambanam, a symbol for meditation upon the Lord. And that is why in our culture, we worship anything and everything in the creation. We have got Naga Panchami, Ratha Saptami, a chariot is worshipped. So many, go on counting. And when we worship anything, we do not worship the thing by itself, but we worship the thing which symbolizes the Lord inherent in that object. Whether we worship the sun or moon, tree, snake, river, etc., each one becomes a pratikam or alambanam. Therefore, Arjuna starts by addressing Krishna as Hey Yogin. And by addressing him as Yogi, Arjuna is indicating that he has already accepted Krishna as both the Nimitta and Upadana Karanam of the Jagat. And he has also understood Krishna's omniscient and omnipotent nature. So he says, Keshu Keshu Cha Bhaveshu, in which all alambanam or glorious objects, Chintyosi Maya, you can be meditated upon by me. Here Chintya means upasya, meditate, to meditate. So in what all glorious objects can you be meditated upon? Please provide me that list. Here the word bhavaha means glorious object, because the word bhavaha got several meanings. Here it means the glorious object. So please enumerate all those glorious objects out of which I can select one and I can invoke you in that. In fact, if you give me a big list every day, one object, I will select and keep on meditating upon that. And by practicing such a meditation, what is this meditation called? Virat meditation, Vishwarupa meditation, meditation upon the total Ishvara with the help of any individual glorious symbol. We can invoke the totality through that glorious symbol. And the symbol can be anything. It can be even a cow. We worship cow. And in fact, some of you or many of you would have seen a picture of a cow where on the body of the cow, where different devatas are depicted. What does that indicate? It indicates that a cow represents the Virat, the total. So even though we meditate on cow as a symbol, but what we meditate upon is the total. In fact, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad starts with meditation upon a horse, Ashwadhyanam. And there also the Upanishad describes each limb of the horse and asks us to see that totality in that one part. Ushava ashwasya medhyasya shiraha Suryashchakshurvatha prano vyatam agni vaishwanaraha samvatsara atma ashwasya medhyasya Dyauh prishtamantariksham prithvi pajasyam dishaha parshve avantara dishaha parshva rito ritavongani masascharya everything, shiraha, pranaha, so the Vaishwanaraha. So everything you can take one part and meditate upon the totality on that part. So anything glorious thing, whichever you like, you can meditate on the totality. And what is the benefit of that Virat Upasana? Arjuna says, by doing that, I will be Sadha Parichintayan. First of all, you will be in my thought always. By visualizing the Virat Rupa Ishvara in any such glorious object, you will always be in my thought, and thus I will later come to know your higher nature. So that is why, for reaching the Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam, Arupa Ishvara Jnanam, the prelude is Virat Ishvara, Vishwarupa Ishvara Jnanam. Even in Sandhya Vandanam, in fact, before we start the actual prayers, or you can say at the start of the prayers, we take water in the hands, look at the water and chant this mantra. Apo va idagum sarvam vishwan bhutanyapah pranava apah pashava apo namapo amrita apah samradapo viradapo swaradapo chanda gushyapo jyoti gushyapo yaju gushyapo satyamapah. The mantra goes on like that. Sarva devata apo bhurbhuva suvarom bhurbhuva suvar apa om. Mantra occurs in Mahanarayana Upanishad. So when we read all these things, we have to understand what is it that it is not just water that I am actually, taking in my hand. This water represents the entire universe. Idagum sarvam vishwa bhutanyapah. All living beings I can visualize in that small one spoon of water on the hand. And water is one of the glorious things in the creation. And that is why, when all these scientists and they are all searching other planets and all, what are they principally searching for? Water. Because they know that if water is available, then life can be sustained in that planet. And when the earth becomes overcrowded, some of us can migrate to that planet. Therefore, the most precious commodity that Bhagavan has given us in plenty is not gold, nor diamond, nor platinum, but two-thirds of the earth comprises of water. And because of its abundant availability, we don't value it, we take it for granted. Of course, thanks to some of the municipalities in our country, in India, they, in some major cities, you can say major metro cities, they make the availability of potable water so scarce. And therefore, you ask the people living in those cities, how much value they attach to water. But some places and all, I know in Bombay and all, the municipality water will come early morning, some 2:30 to 3 o'clock for half an hour. That's all. So what the many people will do, they will put the alarm, wake up at 2:30, fill the water in various buckets, half an hour, whatever, all taps they will open, and then they will go to sleep at 3 o'clock again. That is the kind of value they will attach to that water. And then again in Sandhya Vandanam, you take that water in your hand, invoke all the devatas, all the Vedas, all animals, all insects. Everything you superimpose on that water, and thereafter that water does not remain a chemical mixture, I think, isn't it? H2O. Mixture or compound? H2O is a mixture. But that sorry?
Compound.
It's a compound? Okay. Mixture means because hydrogen and oxygen mixture, I thought. My chemistry is some 50, 60 years old. So it's a compound. H2O is a compound. Okay. But it is no longer H2O for me. It is Ishvara for me. And with that, I actually bless myself. Apo hishta mayobu hai tana urje dadatana. Like that, I bless myself with that water. I invoke the grace of Lord who has been invoked in that water. And therefore, anything can be taken to invoke the Vishwarupa. And by doing that, what will happen? Arjuna says, Tvam aham katham vidyam. Katham means how, in what all manner. Tvam aham vidyam. I will come to know your higher nature. And what is the higher nature? As I said, higher to Vishwarupa Ishvara is what? Arupa Ishvara Nirgunam Brahma. So Arjuna is indicating that ultimately that is what I want to know Krishna. Now you have already told me something of Sagunam Brahman, Vishwarupa Ishvara. And I want to know more, a lot more about that glory of the Saguna Ishvara. But my final destination is Nirgunam Brahman. Because without Nirguna Brahman, Nirguna Jnanam, no moksha. You can never circumvent the Nirguna Jnanam. You can postpone it if you do not like, but you can never avoid it. Like we are seeing in here also we saw the earlier. No? If you avoid it in this Janma, then you will still got one opportunity of Krama Mukti. And therefore, Arjuna says, by meditating or visualizing the Vishwarupa in any glorious object, I will be able to eventually come to Nirgunam Jnanam later. And therefore, please give me a list. And the list should be as exhaustive as possible. And again, it is a natural tendency, isn't it? And that is how the big malls are all developed in big cities. When you want to buy anything like clothes, footwear, etc., if you go to a particular store which has got only one brand, you will have only restricted choice. But if you go to a mall, you will find different stores selling different brands. So you have a wide choice. And everyone naturally wants varieties. Everyone wants to have a choice. They want to exercise their free will in all these things. But when it comes to doing good karmas and all, they don't want to exercise free will. They say, oh, that's all my prarabdham. I am forced to do all these wrong things. But going to a mall, free will is very much there. I want to go to this store, buy this item, buy that item and all. There they exercise the free will. Anyway, so Arjuna says, Krishna, please list out all those glories so that I have got many symbols to meditate upon, varieties of symbols to meditate upon. And that is the uniqueness of our culture, which confuses people of other religions. Either they have no form or one form. Whether you like it or not, you have to worship that. But in Hinduism, you can take any form. And the Lord, as the Lord, and prepare your mind and come to gain that knowledge and be free. And therefore, Upasanartham, I want your glory. Upasana Rupa Jnanartham, I want you to list out all your divine glories. And he also ends with addressing Krishna as, Hey Bhagavan, O Lord. So here, in this sloka, we can clearly see the transformation taking place in Arjuna, the way he is addressing Krishna in this sloka. So Krishna not only is a teacher, Arjuna is understanding that Krishna is actually Bhagavan, the Jagat Karana. So he has now stated the purpose of why he wants the list. He has still not asked for the list. The full, as they say, preparing the ground fully well. So all aspects covered. What you want, why you want. Now he comes to the actual request. He says, and we will read the sloka. All of you please unmute. Okay.
Yes.
Vistarenatmano yogam.
विस्तरेणात्मनो
Vistarenatmano
योगम्
Vibhutim cha janardana.
Vibhutim cha
विभूतिं जनार्दन
Janardana
Bhuya kataya triptirhi.
Bhuyah
भूयः ततः तृप्तिः
Tripti
Shrunvato nasti me mritam.
Shrinvato
तो
nasti me
नास्ति मे मृतम्
mritam.
So the Anvaya is, Hey Janardana, Kathaya Bhuyaha Atmanaha Yogam Cha Vibhutim Vistarena Hi Asti Na Triptihi Me Shrunvataha Amritam. Very nicely he says, Hey Janardana, O Krishna, Kathaya, tell me, Bhuyaha again, Atmanaha Yogam, about your power. Cha vibhutim, and manifestation. Vistarena in detail. He, because asti na triptihi, there is no satisfaction. May, for me, shrunvataha, who am listening, amritam, to the nectar of words. So he says, hey, O Krishna, tell me again about your power and manifestation in detail, because there is no satisfaction for me who is listening to the nectar of your words, the nectar of words. So now, as I said, he asked for the request. What is that? Hey Janardana. Means the one who is sought after by all people, seeking all types of favors. Janaihi ardhyate yachyate iti Janardana. That is the derivation of the word Janardana. Most wanted person. Of course, not in the negative sense. Ardha means to beg. Yach means also to beg. So Janardana is one who is begged by all people constantly for this and that, everything. Constant petition receiver. So, hey Janardana Kathaya, may you enumerate, narrate, list out what? Atmanah Yogam. Atma here is a reflexive pronoun. Your own Yoga Shakti, potentiality, the potentiality to become the universe. Because if you take any seed of any fruit, or even vegetable, flower, it has the potentiality to become only that fruit or that flower or that vegetable. For example, a mango seed cannot become an apple fruit. Similarly, milk can give us curd, butter, etc., but it cannot give oil. So many things in the creation have potentiality, but they have a limited potential. We also have our own limited potential. But what is the greatness of Bhagavan's potential? He has the potentiality to become the whole cosmos. Akasha Sambhutah. Imagine Bhagavan become the space itself. Bhagavan first manifests as the space. I think somebody asked in some last class, if God created Brahmaji first, where was the space? I explained this. Taittiriya Upanishad. So, first he creates the space. Bhagavan manifests a space because for creating anything, first you require a space, isn't it? Therefore, we find the Srishti Prakriya in Taittiriya Upanishad. Tasmad va etasmad atmana akashat sambhuta akashat vayuhu vayoragnihi agnerapah adbhya prithvi prithvyam oshadayah oshadibhyo annam annat purushah. So the full evolution Taittiriya Upanishad contains in this mantra, right up to the evolution of a human being. So that is the glory of Bhagavan. Anything, he can become space, he can become Agni, he can become water, he can become Aushadaya, that is the plants and food items. Bhagavan becomes a human being also. Not only that, all animals, everything. All living, non-living, sentient, insentient beings. Bhagavan has become. So this potentiality is called yoga. And this potentiality is never seen perceptually because any potential is inferred. Suppose you are shown a seed and you are asked which seed is this. Some of the seeds of we can make out, but many seeds we cannot make out what seed it is unless we plant it and then it grows. Then we know, oh, this was that seed. So as long as we are seeing a seed, we can infer that that seed has got a potential to grow into something. Similarly, suppose you have got a singing potential. How do I know? If you keep silent, how do I know unless you sing a song? And then I can know whether you have the potential to be a good singer or not. And therefore, this yoga, this potential is always anumeyam, inferred. Now, how do we know that Bhagavan has got infinite power? Because he has created this world. The world is the testimony. World is the signature of the Lord. So, from observing the world, I know Bhagavan's yoga, which is nothing but the Maya Shakti. Yoga is nothing but Maya only. It is Maya's power, which is, of course, also the power of Bhagavan, the power of Brahman, because Brahman and Maya we cannot separate. Inherent power. Now, why is Maya called yoga? In fact, Adi Shankara, in his Bhashyam for Bhagavad Gita, writes, he says, in this context, the word yoga means a combination, ghatanam, he says. And Maya is called yoga because Maya is a combination of three things: sattva, rajas, and tamo gunanam. Combination of these three gunas. Like a thread, which has three strands. Maya is one thread, and in that Maya thread, three strands are there, which are known as Sattva strand, Rajas strand, and Tamo strand, Tamas strand. Since it is a mixture of three, it is called yoga. Gunanam mishra ityartha. And Arjuna says that Maya potential, Krishna, you have. And not only that, vibhuti is when the potential is expressed and becomes visible. So you have got both yoga and vibhuti. That visible, expressed, manifest, perceptible power is called vibhuti. So yoga we have to infer, vibhuti we can perceive. Yoga is anumeyam, vibhuti is pratyaksham. So yogam vibhutim cha kathaya. Please teach me, please tell me. How? Vistarena, elaborately. Because now it seems Arjuna realizes that Krishna has already enumerated his vibhutis in the 7th and 9th chapters. Isn't it? Like us, Arjuna also probably recalls, oh yeah, he has already told some of these things earlier, So I should cover that also. Because in the 7th chapter he said, Rasohamapsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryayoho pranava sarva vedeshu shabdakhe paurusham nrushu. So some of the items he has already enlisted. He has said, I am the beautiful taste of water. I am Omkara for the Vedas. I am the light in the sun and moon. So Krishna has already enumerated in the 7th chapter, and again in the 9th chapter, there are two slokas. Aham kraturaham yajnah swadhaham aushadham mantrohamahame vajyam aham agniraham hutam. Then pitahamasya jagatah mata dhata pitamah vedyam pavitram onkara rigsamayajureva cha. So in the 9th chapter also he has told some of the items. So now Arjuna realizes, see, this is the predicament of the teacher. Imagine, teacher is taking all the trouble, teaches everything. And after some time, the student is asking the same thing. Eh? What he has already taught, the student is asking again. What will the teacher feel? Puja Swamiji used to give a very beautiful example. In olden days, people used to arrange for live Carnatic music program in marriage functions. Because evening, there will be morning marriage, evening reception, whatever it is. Then during the reception, there will be a live Carnatic music program, sometimes of some very famous singer also, famous musician. And of course, all people will be chit-chatting, meeting the bridegroom, bride, etc. and all. And this musician will be sitting, on the stage, singing, with all accompaniments will be there rather. But hardly anyone would pay any attention. So Puja Swamiji used to say, it's a joke. On one such occasion, the musician was singing Mohana Raga, one of the ragams, very elaborately, with all Manodharma Swarams, Taniyavartanam, etc., by the percussionists. And while nobody was paying attention, there was one person who was sitting, in a chair in front of the stage, and he was totally absorbed and appreciating the music. So the musician felt, oh, very good, at least one person is there in this entire crowd who is appreciating my singing. This person must be having a good knowledge of music, and that is why he is appreciating. He must be a Carnatic music aficionado. So after the musician completed the elaborate rendition of the Mohana Ragam, this person who was appreciating all along by shaking his head, making his hand like this and all, as if he is really absorbed in the music, this fellow goes up to the musician, compliments him, appreciates the beautiful raga that he has rendered, and then says, I have got only one small request to make. Can you please sing Mohana Ragam for me? Now, imagine what will the musician feel. He has last 1 hour, that is what he has been doing, and this fellow, as though he is appreciating, has been listening, but he has not absorbed anything. So here also, when Arjuna is asking Krishna to list out his vibhutis, Krishna may feel, what is the use of teaching this, Arjuna, or people like this? Just now only, 2 chapters ago, I told him all these things. Again, he is asking, repeat the whole thing. And Arjuna senses such an outcome. He knows that Krishna will be disappointed if the student does not remember. And therefore he says, Bhuyah Kataya. Please tell me again. So he says, Hey Krishna, I remember that you have already mentioned some of your vibhutis, but I feel that that list you gave me is incomplete. So please do not mistake me. I am not asking this as a fresh topic. I am only asking you to elaborate with complete detail what you have already taught me briefly. So now, Vistarena, you please. I am also asking for repetition with complete details. It is like, in some music program, after a very good song has been rendered, audience will say once more, isn't it? They like it so much. Similarly, Arjuna is saying once more because it is so nice to hear Ishwara's glories from Sakshat Krishna himself again and again. So Kataya Bhuyaha. And he says that the reason I am asking is Triptihi me nasti. I never get fed up. I never get bored by listening to this topic. It is ever fresh, it is ever rejuvenating, ever enlivening. Krishna, I never get satiated by listening to your sweet words. I will never say alam. Therefore, triptihi nasti. Unlike the other thing, any other thing in the world, even the tastiest food that we eat, there will come a time when we say enough. Especially in marriages and all, we will go. They will go on serving. At some stage, we'll say enough. The law of diminishing satisfaction applies to every other thing in the world, but not to hearing the glories of Ishvara. And that is why, we find in Carnatic music, thousands and thousands of songs have been composed by stalwarts, singing the glory of Ishvara, and it is never complete. So Ishvara Vibhuti Sravanam is like that. Any amount you listen, it is enjoyable. Therefore, Shrunvatah Tripti Nasti. So Arjuna says, I am never saturated because it is Amritam. Because what I am listening to is what? Amritam. Shrunvatah Amritam me. May word is there, it should go with Shrunvatah. Here the word Amritam means nectar. Nectar means what? Sweet. Honey like sweet. So Krishna, your words are so sweet, honey like, and therefore Tripti Nasti. I don't get satisfaction at all. Therefore, Krishna, may you please repeat the topic. And do not repeat it in just 2-3 verses like you did in the 7th and 9th chapters. Please narrate your divine glories Vistarena elaborately. And that is why Krishna, enumerates the glories in several verses. And we will start with the first one. So you can unmute yourself. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Uvacha
Antate Kathayishyami
Antate
Antate
Katayishyami
Katayishyami
Divyahyatma Vibhutayah
Divyahyatma Vibhutayah
Vibhutayah
Pradhanyatah Kuru Sreshta
Pradanyatah Guru
Prashta
Shrestha
Nastyanto Vistarasya Me.
Nastyanto
Nastyanto
Vistarasya
Vistarasya
Me.
Me.
So the Anvaya is Sri Bhagavan Huvacha Hanta He Kuru Sreshta Katayishyami Te Pradhanyatah Divyah Atma Vibhutayah Hi Asti Na Antah Me Vistarasya. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Lord replied, the Lord spoke, Hanta, very well, He Kurusreshta, O Arjuna, Katayishyami te, I shall tell you, Pradhanyataha, the main, Divyaha Atma Vibhutayah, divine glories of mine, He, because, Astina Antaha, there is no limit, there is no end, me vistarasya, to my manifestation. So the Lord replied, well, O Arjuna, I shall tell you the main divine glories of mine, because there is no limit to my manifestation. So, with the previous verse, Arjuna's request for Vibhuti Varnanam, the description of Ishvara's glories, is over. Now, Krishna has accepted the request and satisfied with the reasons also given by Arjuna. And he's going to give a huge list, for which he gives a introduction. Like everyone else, Bhagavan also likes to talk about himself and his glories. This is quite natural in most human beings. In fact, I have observed one very, interesting behavior of people. If you tell someone that your child has stood first in the class, then immediately that person to whom you are talking to will talk about some achievement of his or her child. If someone says to us that he had gone on a Europe tour, then immediately we will respond by recounting the experience of our own Europe tour, So, it is very natural tendency to talk about oneself. We all love to talk about ourselves. And Bhagavan seems is no exception. And here, moreover, Bhagavan is being specifically asked to talk about himself. Because if you are asked, for example, you go on up a stage and then you have to be introduced, and whoever is the person conducting the program says that, he may not know everything about you. So he will say, he's so and so and so, and now I will request him to introduce himself and, tell you all about himself. That is quite okay, because here is a specific request has been received. Similarly, here Krishna also has been specifically requested. So there is no harm in his talking about himself. And that is why, Vedanta appeals to some people, because Vedanta is talking about my glory. When it says Tattvamasi, you are Sachidananda, you are limitless, we are proud to own up that glory. When it says Mayyeva Sakalam Jatam, Mayi Sarvam Pratishtitam, we can also claim all these glories as ours. And therefore, Krishna happily accepts to describe his glories. He says Hanta. This word Hanta is used in the language in different contexts, like to express surprise, joy, pleasure, even grief or regret, pity, compassion, and to even start a conversation. Hanta is an inception particle. Even, if you want to hurry up somebody, you can start with Hanta. So here contextually, we can take it as beginning of a conversation or narration. Like we say, can you tell something about yourself? You say, very well, yeah, okay, fine, why not? So there the Hanta can be taken to mean very well, okay, fine, etc. Atma vibhutayah te kathayishyami. I shall certainly narrate, enumerate, list out Atma vibhutayah, my glories. Here also the word Atma is a reflexive pronoun, meaning my own glory. And what type of glory? Divyaha, which are extraordinary. Because even ordinary things are Bhagavan's glories only, as we just now saw. Walking, winking, etc. are all glories of Bhagavan. Even opening and closing the mouth is a glory of Bhagavan. We will know only when we meet a person who has got a locked jaw. He has opened the mouth, but is not able to close it. Somewhere something has got stuck. Similarly, when we are able to do something which someone else cannot do, we immediately recognize it as a glory given by God. It is the vibhuti of the Lord. But as I said, these are all laukika vibhutaya. Krishna says, if I have to enumerate them, it would be endless, and therefore I will talk only about divya vibhutaya, extraordinary glories of mine. Because that is what you asked also, isn't it? And so that these glories can serve as a symbol for meditation. And that is why, in Taittiriya Upanishad also, we have got meditation on every limb of the body. So that we will not take any limb for granted. As we grow old only, we will know that. It says, Ye evam veda kshema iti vacha yoga kshema iti pranapanayoho karmeti hastayoho gatiriti padayoho vimuktariti payau. Every part of our body, every function of our body you can meditate upon. Vimuktariti payau. Even the meditation on the organ of evacuation of waste, which we think is unholy, a dirty organ because it is removing the waste. The Upanishad prescribes meditation on that organ of evacuation. And we will know its importance and value only when it does not function or it over functions. I need not elaborate. So, Veda prescribes such meditation. In Keno Upanishad, even winking meditation is prescribed. Tasesha adesho yatedad vidyuto vyadutada. I'm not used to chanting these mantras. Itin nyami mishada itya ityadi daivatam. So even, see, nimisha, animisha, blinking, winking, opening, closing the eyes, you can meditate upon that. So what it means, you should not take even your winking faculty for granted. That is also a beautiful gift. So in everything, I should see the glory, and it requires a mind which can pay attention. Right type of mindfulness, minding everything. And therefore, everything is Bhagavan's glory, and such glories are countless. And therefore, Krishna says, Katayishyami, I will tell you, I will narrate Divyaha Atma Vibhutayaha, the extraordinary glories. And even the extraordinary glories are innumerable. Even though it will be less than the ordinary ones, but even if you take extraordinary glories, they will be innumerable. And if Krishna starts to list out all the glories as Arjuna requested, we will never be able to complete the 10th chapter. And therefore he says, I will talk about pradhanyataha. I will choose a few examples which are predominant ones, which are main ones. And the reason for my doing so is because me vistarasya antah nasti, there is no limit or end to my vibhuti. Here the word vistaraha means vibhutihi. So there is no end to my glories because it consists of the whole universe. Many of those glories human beings are not even yet discovered. Only one by one, with all sorts of telescope, this, that, and all, they are discovering one by one glories. And forget the Bhuloka. There are 14 lokas are there. And in every loka there is some glory or the other of Bhagavan. And therefore there is no end, He Kurusreshta, He Arjuna. And by addressing Arjuna as Kuru Shrestha, Krishna hints that among the Kuru people also, Arjuna, you are Shrestha hai. You are yourself are so glorious that you can become a symbol of meditation. And therefore, the list starts with Arjuna himself, who is a representative of Bhagavan's Vibhuti. So we will continue in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah
धन्यवादः
Hari Om Dhanyavadaha. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very
Namaskaram,
much,
Guruji. Thank you
Guruji.
very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Namaskaram, Hari Om.
Namaskaram Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you,
Om
Guruji.
Hari
Namaste,
Om.
Pranam.
Pranam.
Namaste. Namaste. Namaskar.
Pranam Guruji.
Pranam Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Yes, Arun Kumarji.
Namaste, Guruji. I
Okay.
have a silly question rather. With all this exchange of knowledge and whatever Lord had told Arjuna, did Arjuna ever pursue for the go towards the path of moksha after all this?
He goes after the Bhagavad Gita is over. After that.
Oh, he pursues. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Because here, Krishna's purpose is not for Arjuna to take up Jnana Yoga now. Krishna's purpose is to make Arjuna fight the war. That is what he keeps on telling Arjuna, you should fight, you should fight, you should fight. Now, initially he thought that he will finish this Bhagavad Gita in 2-3 chapters. But this fellow Arjuna is not, is not understanding. So Krishna tells the whole thing. Because all these things are relevant. Because Arjuna feels by killing, this Bhishma, Drona and all, he is doing a Mahapapam and all that. So Krishna is go through the very elaborate teaching. And of course, Krishna's purpose is what? Arjuna is only a nimitta. He wants to teach all of us rather, right? That is his teaching. That is why it is surviving even today rather, after so many thousands of years. So,
Correct.
but eventually whether Arjuna, we have to read full Mahabharata. But the immediate thing is, after this teaching is over, last chapter Arjuna says, okay, now I have understood everything. I've got the full picture, the totality. Now I will pick up my bow and arrow and I will fight Krishna. I will do what you have asked me to do. That is what he says. So that purpose of Krishna is served in actually encouraging Arjuna, inspiring Arjuna to go and fight. That is how he wins the war. Okay. That's why.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question? No hands are going up. Okay, then I guess we can close the session. Continue next week. Okay. Hari Om. Thank you all.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Hari
Guru. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Guruji.
you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.